We're having a local pull up that his parents had an encounter with a non-human being right in this area in the 90s. So we're gonna get to hear the story from him and see what we make of it.
This is a story that my parents passed on to me. My dad was born and raised here in this valley, in Pahranagat Valley. He worked out at the test site in Area 51 for a good portion of his life. You know, because he mainly worked on the test site side when they were doing the nuclear testing. He drove the trains and everything that went down inside the tunnels and that where they'd set the bombs off and that. And then when they shut that down, then he moved over to the Area 51 side.
Both your parents had an encounter on this road.
Yes, they were coming over Hancock Summit here, coming back into town. They'd been hunting or camping for the weekend, something. They were out in the hills playing around, which they like to do an awful lot. Mom says they come over the hill here, and he says you can see somebody walking down the road for quite a ways. Caught her eye. She's like, wow, what's somebody doing walking out in the middle of nowhere like this? As they got closer to it, it stepped away from the road and crouched down, you know, along the borrow area there. When it did that, my dad continued to drive past it. She goes, hey, we ought to stop and see if they need help. And my dad just told her, no, you didn't see anything, and went on. And if you knew my dad, he's the last person in the world that's not going to stop and give somebody help, especially if they're out in the middle of nowhere like this and they're unfamiliar with the surroundings.